What's up, beautiful people? I'm going to show you a cool leg workout with two of my favorite leg movements and some cool equipment. So check this out. Randomly, a Monday afternoon, I like to sometimes come home and work out in my lunch break from work. So I don't have a ton of time, but thought, hey, why not try filming some of a leg workout for you? These guys that are telling you to rest like 4 or 5 minutes in between sets, that's ridiculous. Like, you want to be able to condition yourself to get the same amount of work done in half the time with the same intensity. My 6-rep max, waiting, on like a squat machine, waiting 2 minutes or even a minute and a half is the same as it would be if I waited 5 or 6 minutes. So just doing a couple warm-up sets on this David leg extension. I actually like doing them in this hip extended position once in a while because obviously you're getting a little rectus femoris recruitment, but the stimulus is definitely different and it utilizes the strength curve of the machine slightly differently because your legs don't come up as high, but they go down lower. So nice way to start the workout. All right, so I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite movements for this month. It kind of changes month to month. I've really grown to love this machine a lot. I recently refurbed it. The reversed pendulum squat. What makes this cool is the way where the weight is placed in relation to my body. See how the weight is behind my body? What that means is the bottom of the movement is slightly easier. It gets slightly easier towards the bottom as opposed to a pendulum squat or a swing squat. If the weight was kind of in front of me, it would be a different story, but the way this weight is placed, it's phenomenal. So I'm supersetting with my heels up to with my toes up. It's complete quad isolation and annihilation, which is awesome. So using this machine without the wedge, you still get a good amount of quads, but there's a little more adductor. But to really isolate the quads, especially with my toes up on this wedge, it feels phenomenal. So it's just such a easier, safer way for me to isolate the quads than even sometimes doing a barbell front squat. But I've just really grown to love this machine. All right, so these are deficit, reverse lunge, step-ups, split squats, whatever you want to call them. Absolutely phenomenal on this Magnum Perfect Squat. If you noticed how I had the wedges, my front leg is the leg that's being worked where my toes are up, and my back leg, the heel is up. So I'm trying to keep most of my weight on my front leg, using the leverage of this system and stepping up, as well as having maximal knee flexion. So usually, reverse lunge, you're going to be more glute and hamstring biased. But because my toes are up, I'm getting significant quad overload. So this is like total leg overload. This is probably one of my favorite leg movements, period, just because it's so freaking effective. You can obviously do this with a barbell or a dumbbell, but obviously I've got a lot of cool machines, so just as well use them. But I've been doing this for a month or two. Like, this thing makes me sore more than any other leg movement. Honestly, I'm sore for like 2 to 3 days, and I hardly ever get sore anymore. But try this out if you guys have this machine or a similar type of squat machine, with your toes up on the front leg and with the heels up on the back leg, keeping most of the weight on the front leg. You can see I'm barely leaning back. Then I'm supersetting that reverse lunge movement with a high rep belt squat movement to a leg press movement. So this is kind of towards the end of my belt squat. I've got my heels up on a little wedge, and I've got tons of bands. So I hate this machine the way a lot of people use it, where they just stack the plates on. Put some heavy bands on there and actually see what it feels like, instead of like trying to boost your ego and lift your ego with 15 plates on the side. So then I'm finishing this giant set with this lever leg press. Great overload for the quads. The keeping my feet really low, trying to keep tension on the whole time. Great machine, great feel on this. It's just I like to put it at the end because I prefer not to stack 600 or 700 pounds on here to have an adequate stimulus. I can put bands on there too, but just kind of good slow tempo, focusing on the muscle and the contraction. Just a phenomenal stimulus on this thing. Then I take about 10 to 15 deep breaths with very little rest and go straight to this streamlined plate-loaded leg extension. I showed this to you before. My favorite leg extension. Here I'm kind of near the end of my set where I'm just doing a strip set and just repping it out as many as I can. It's got that assist bar in the back, which is phenomenal, and then I just rep out some partials. Just the quads are on fire. Do 2 strip sets of calf extensions on this Magnum calf leg press. I love this piece. You can see I'm doing them without shoes on. Phenomenal stimulus. I don't like training calves with shoes anymore. Absolutely brutal. 45, 50-minute workout, not super long, but very intense. Enough rest in between the sets to allow maximum intensity, but not too much rest, so I can still get a metabolic effect from the workout.